Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also let's not forget about their new live-action and animated Star Wars TV series for Disney+, as well as the fourth Star Wars trilogy of films by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that what they are essentially trying to do is that they're trying to bring Star Wars to the same exact level as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, also known simply as the MCU. And that's really going to take a lot of time and effort, a high success rate to really get it to such a level over a period of a couple of years at minimum. Now, with Kathleen Kennedy no longer involved on a creative scale, which by the way is a very good thing, that just tells us that there's a lot of, hope to come out of Star Wars in the near future, that we're going to be getting more authentic Star Wars stories, that's going to be more in line with the vision by George Lucas. Now, one thing about the Skywalker saga is that a lot of fans were very upset with how the sequel trilogy was handled by Disney, and a lot of fans, love and cherish the prequels and the originals. However, one major plan by Disney CEO Bob Chapek is to provide many different retcons, not just to the sequels, but also to the originals and the prequel trilogy era, that's truly going to change our view of many of the films within the Skywalker saga films. And it's going to be done in a drastic way where he's working with George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni all together as a team. Now, with that being said, of course, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Rise of Skywalker, they are currently focused on their new Star Wars universe as well as their new Star Wars trilogy of movies. It's explained that both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are hard at work on developing better plans to reunite the Star Wars fans around the world, where it's explained that one of the big plans by Disney and Lucasfilm is to provide major resets to the prequels, originals, and even the sequel trilogy movies of Star Wars. Now, it's described that currently Disney is already beginning the process of these resets, and that creator George Lucas will be in charge of all of this for the time being. It's explained that just recently George Lucas provided a major reset to the prequel trilogy films in order to include a brand new villain into the Star Wars franchise known as Tor Valum, which was an original Sith Lord created by Colin Trevorrow for Duel of the Fates. Now, it's described that Lucas recently made the major reset for the prequels that during the events of those films, Tor Valum is instructing Palpatine on what to do with Anakin Skywalker and had to initiate Order 66 against the Jedi and the ultimate plan to bring them to extinction. Tor Valum is aimed to not just be any other Sith Lord, but a Sith God that lives in the cosmos, watching over all the events that takes place throughout the Skywalker saga movies. It's described that not just that, but also that Lucas will be creating a new meaning to the Chosen One and exactly what midichlorians are in the prequels, and will be redefining them in the prequel trilogy movies. So here's the biggest concern among these major resets for the prequel trilogy era is that he will be providing a brand new villain known as Tor Valum. We talked about this not too long ago, that this new Sith God is going to be essentially the guidance of course, Palpatine and Plagueis and other Sith Lords out there that have existed before in the past. Now, what's really interesting to me about this is how Tor Valum is going to play a major role in Anakin Skywalker's turn to the dark side, since he is the very one who is instructing Palpatine from the very start on how to really get that started. And it's really going to change our view, especially for Revenge of the Sith as a movie. And that's a big deal. When you look at all the Star Wars movies, we've seen, such strong emotions through these characters. And by far, Anakin Skywalker is the most complex character. So they're going to really be adding more, depth to the story of Revenge of the Sith and to the prequel trilogy films by really providing this brand new villain into the Star Wars universe that's truly going to change our view and vision of the Sith overall. The other thing that I think is going to be on the more positive note is how George Lucas is going to be redefining the concept of midichlorians. I know a lot of fans out there, when The Phantom Menace released, is that midichlorians weren't all that much accepted among Star Wars fans. It was actually a very controversial element of Episode 1. Not a lot of fans were really all for it at first. However, over the years, fans began to accept the idea, and that now Lucas is going to be changing and redefining the overall meaning of what they really are. And that, to me, I think is also massive to the prequel trilogy era. That's truly going to change how we view not just the Phantom Menace, but the overall structure, right, of the Force and exactly what it means in Star Wars overall. So that's also another big one. That's going to be a major change to the Star Wars franchise, beginning with the prequel trilogy movies. So these retcons by George, John, and Dave, and Disney and everybody else involved is really a big deal. You know, this is something that I think is going to be controversial to some people out there, while others are going to really accept these ideas. So, with that being said, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.